All right, now I'm on page 363. These are what your homework problems are going to look like, or very similar to this, so pay close attention. It says use the equation to complete the table. So here's our equation, okay? And remember our input, and they tell us, they'll usually tell you, our input is what we put in for x, and the output is what you end up getting for y when you put in that value for x. The rule is what we're doing to x. We're taking x and adding 3. So 6 plus 3 would be 9, would be what you get for your output. If you plug in 8 for x, you get 8 plus 3, which would be 11. And if we plug in 10 for x, it would be 10 plus 3, and we would get 13. So that's all they wanted us to do there. Now on problem 2, they don't have that rule section, and that's okay. We don't have to have that because the rule is given right here. Remember, this is the rule. What we're doing to x is our rule. So we're going to be taking 4, plugging it in for x, and then seeing what we get for y. So if I plug in a 4 for x, that's going to be 2 times 4, because they told me to put in a 4 for the x, plus 1. Well, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 would be 9. Okay. I'm going to erase. You don't need to. You can always use more scratch paper. Okay, this time they said try a 7. So I'm going to do 2 times, and then instead of x, I'm going to put a 7 and add 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. They said, okay, try putting in a 10 for x. So I'm going to put in a 10 for where x is in my equation, which is my rule. That's my rule. What are you doing to x? So 2 times 10 is 20, plus 1 gives me 21 for my output. And we could plug in anything for x. Okay, we could plug in a fraction, we could plug in a decimal, you can plug in anything. You just apply the rule. And the rule is just what are you doing to x each time. Okay. Now let's go down here. This is the reverse of that. So it says write an equation for the relationship, then find the unknown value in the table. So now you have to look at the relationship. So if you put in an 8, you get 16. If you put in a 9, you get 18. If you put in 11, you get 22. So what are they doing to x to get the y value? Well, what could we do to x to get y? We could take 8 plus 8, that would give us 16. But if we do 9 plus 8, that would only give us 17, so that doesn't work. So what could we do to 8 to get 16 besides add 8? Well, we could multiply it by 2. 8 times 2 would give us 16. 9 times 2 would, yes, give us 18. And 11 times 2 would give us 22. So to get y, now we're writing our equation. So it says write an equation. To get our y, we need to take x and multiply it, whatever we have for the x value, and we need to multiply that by 2. Another way of writing that would be to say y equals 2x. That also means multiply by 2. And then the last step says find the unknown value in the table. So here, what would the y equal? 10 times 2, if I plug this in now, 2 times 10, that's going to give me 20 for my y value. So 20 would go here. Okay, number 4, we're going to do the same thing. What are they doing to x to get y? So I could take 10 minus 5, that would give me 5. But let's see if that same rule would work here. 20 minus 5 would not give me 15. So they're not taking 5 away. What could you do? What else could you do to 10 to get 5? Well, I couldn't multiply. Well, maybe I could. Yeah, I could multiply. What could I multiply 10 by to get 5? Well, I could multiply by 1/2, or I could divide by 2. Okay. Either way is going to give me the same answer. So to get y, I have to take x and divide it by 2, or I could take y. To get my y output, I can take 0.5 times x. Both of these equations would work. There might be more that would also work, but both of these equations will work, and we can test it to make sure both of them would work. If I put in 20 for x, 20 divided by 2, yes, that gives me 10. And 0.5 or 1/2 times 20, that also gives me 10. If I plug in 30, 30 divided by 2 does give me 15. 30 times 1/2 also gives me 15. 40 divided by 2 would give me 20. So my missing value is 20, and 40 times 1/2 would also give me 20. So my missing value is y equals 20. Oh, y was 20 on both of them. Just so happens. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.